So, hey guys, welcome you to our second podcast. My name is Robin Bachhoffner. Uh, Today my guests are Sascha Fabian and Themis Gikis.
Yeah, hi again.
Hello.
Today we're going to make a recap of the YCS Sydney, which was held last weekend with 858 players, right guys?
I think so, yeah.
And a huge win and performance from the new cards, the Performapal cards. So we had like 26 or 27 Performapal Performages in the top 32. And we're going to have a look on a few lists of them, but also of some other decks that topped. So yeah, I think we should start with the winner list. Okay for you guys?
Yep.
Okay, your impression about the winner list.
So the winner was Yahweh. He also participated at the major tour stop at Lille. He unfortunately didn't make the top cut.
Okay.
So his main looks pretty standard. He was closer to what we discussed about how the lists are going to be with Face Off.
Mm-hmm.
He was also maining Instant Fusion, which is still really good. But I think the most important thing is his side deck.
Okay, I think we can go and have a look on the side deck a little bit later on. Sascha, what are you thinking about his main deck?
Well, yeah, he is playing just 3 Max CS hand traps in his main deck. And he cut it down his deck on 40 cards, which is quite difficult in the current meta game. So it looks pretty constantly and pretty standard based on the OCG build, I think.
I think what is interesting in my opinion is that his main deck can go easily as first, but also second, so he don't play any cards that are like completely dead if he's going first or second, which is in my opinion pretty cool.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I mean, but it's more towards going second, but he doesn't
Yeah.
mind if he still goes first.
exactly. So and now the side deck, Themis, you already mentioned it that it's special. Could you explain why?
Alright, the card that caught my eye on the immediately was Forbidden Chalice.
Mhm.
He played as 3-off. It was quite ironic that the first day of the event, I messaged him and asked him for his score, etc. He told me he played 6 Pepe in the first 6 rounds. He played 6 mirror match.
Mm-hmm.
And he won against all 6 of them. And I told him, "What do you side against mirror match?" And it's like, I said Chalice. I was like, "Whoa, you said Chalice? All right." He, of course, understand what Chalice is for, like for Afflasia and Infinity on your turn. But of course, it's a protection still. And there are other interesting cards inside deck is the Kaiju Gamasiel, how it's called.
Gamasiel, yeah.
Yeah. Which I think this card is in other deck lists also. I think we could maybe we could discuss more about this card.
Yeah, sure. Sascha, do you have any additions to Themis' idea on the side deck next to Gamasiel, which we're going to talk about afterwards?
I think it's a critical decision to play Drone Lockbird, which is, in my opinion, pretty good in the side deck for the paper mirror match. I think it's quite interesting that he didn't play Veiler or Snow Rabbit and Ghost Ogre.
Mhm.
So, well, I think it's a pretty nice decision. Maybe we can talk about
Uh,
that.
Yeah.
but if
On Roland block, yeah, continue to. I mean,
well, if I look at his side deck, I see at least like 7 cards, which he's only siding for the mirror match. Isn't that way too much if you have a look at his main deck, which looks like already really good for the mirror match?
he explained to me his strategy, and it was more like he goes for Chalice if he's playing first or second.
Yeah.
And then time space is obviously if you're going first,
Mhm.
you have for Aphlesia, and Reggie is if you're going second. But Dolbird is only if you're playing against how's it called the pendulum monster no one plays that searches the counter traps. Ariadne,
Ariadne?
Yeah.
something like that. Ariadne, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Okay, so he's playing that against Ariadne deck.
Okay.
The funny thing is that after his 6-0, he lost against the Ariadne deck.
Okay. Okay, so if they start with Luster Pendulum and Ariadne, they can search Ariadne, but you can basically negate the Ariadne to search the counter traps with Drawn Lockbird.
Yeah.
Or prevent him.
I think it's the sideboard strategy is especially for the mirror match, and pretty much if you start or if you go on second. So it depends on which cards you side. You know.
Mhm.
What do you expect your opponent choose?
Well, that's actually quite a good question. I didn't read any Pepe mirror matches from the YCS Sydney on the coverage, but I think normally they're going to go first just to set up their play without any any traps that could stop them. Or I see that a lot on Bully Network, for example. And I think there he has, like Themis mentioned, Chalice, which is pretty good, Raigeki. Gamma Seal, did he also cite that in the mirror match, Themis?
I really have to. He didn't mention that.
Okay.
But it would make sense if he played against a list that he saw Natural Beast, so when he's going second, he could side that, but there's also side blocker, there's a jump, and he's also main Gigabyte among hat triggers.
Well, those cards were actually also pretty good if your opponent siding Vanity's Fiend. So you can change on the third game if he's starting, if you let him start, or if he's going for some of these in the first few rounds.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty impossible to get over Vanity's Fiend without Forbidden Chalice or Raigeki or something else. Yeah.
I think Chalice is way too good right now because it's also very good against Cosmo, since they have switched to playing the artifact engine. So this is, I mean, the card that caught my eye immediately was Chalice, and I think that's the reason why he won.
Okay. For the extra deck, I don't think he played anything special.
He played Felgrand.
He did?
Yeah, you can see it on the picture. I think it's under Aphlesia. He was playing Felgrand, and you can summon Felgrand using Ignister and Dinoster,
But
which
wait,
is
Well, that should be a Direwolf under Rafflesia.
should be pretty. Yeah. I can't see anywhere a Felgrand actually.
yeah, I think you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, no. There is no Felgrand, at least.
He played the Evil Swarm Nightmare,
Yep.
which was commonly played at this YCS, or at least all the feature matches. Or at almost all the feature matches, I saw Evil Swarm Nightmare summoned.
Well, actually, it's some kind of Rafflesia, if you want to say so.
Robin, you were mentioning Illusion Nightmare on our generic chat, so maybe you want to talk more about that card?
Well, I'm a pretty huge fan of the card, as I'm not liking to play too many traps in the main deck,
Mhm.
as you don't want to draw them, and Illusion Nightmare is like a trap on its own, or basically two traps, as you can flip down the special summon of monsters, so you can also just flip down a whole pendulum summon, and you're basically locking your opponent out of the game. If you can start like Illusion Nightmare and Cyberdragon Infinity, which is actually pretty realistic in the new Pepe, it's mostly an auto win, as they can't play around it like against Trap Tricks or Rafflesia. They can go like a first exceed, they have to use the Rafflesia and then you can go off, and that's not possible with Illusion Nightmare. You just can flip down his Castel, Direwolf or whatever, and they still can't Pendulum Summon, as you just can flip down everything.
You can do his effect twice per turn.
Twice per turn. You can use it as much as you want. It's
Yeah,
not
so-
once per turn.
Okay.
I didn't know
So
that.
basically twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the card is obviously really good.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you want to mention on the winner's deck list?
No, I think we can
Okay.
continue.
Okay, so we're going to second place deck list. The blocks a little bit right now here.
The deck list with the Violet fit, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
That's a very interesting deck list.
Yeah.
Okay, the list with the Mantis Fiend. So the main deck also seems pretty standard. He played no Rafflesia, but instead Solemn Strike. And no, sorry, my fault. He also played a Rescue Rabbit,
Yeah.
which
He
is pretty
played
cool.
Rescue Rapid and the Palomuro without Brilliant Fusion.
Well,
Rescue Rabbit is kinda crazy right now.
mhm.
You can go to Rescue Rabbit into the Overload,
Overlord. Yeah.
Overload, yeah, and then go into Nightmare with these two.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
that's
It's a one-card Nightmare, and what's
Kinda
really
good.
good about Rescue Rabbit, you also can use his effect when it gets special summoned, so you can pedal summon it and then banish it to use his
Yeah.
effect. Which is interesting in my opinion. He just played 3 Vector and 1 Master Pendulum, so he only has 3 or basically 1 target for Rescue Rabbit. Is that enough?
Well, I think it just depends on how much Dragon Revival and Vector Pendulum you draw, at least. So I think the consistency is not that good as you expect, but at least Rescue Rabbit is also a level 4 monster, so you can use it for your Exceeds and for Naturia Beast as well.
That's
So
true.
I think it's not that not a bigger problem if you draw several of Vector Pendulums.
Yeah, I agree. Vector Pendulum drawing it is still good, and you can always Emerald it back. But I think he wasn't playing Emerald.
No,
Just going to check. No
I think
Emerald.
he don't. Yep. Actually, we see that his build is pretty much used for going first, because you see especially the double head trigger for going into Naturia Beast,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think
I think it's more all-rounded, like the first place, because he plays only one Soul Strike. But yeah, playing first should be the most ideal because he's not making many cantrips.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for the side deck, we also see here, we're seeing here the Ventis Fiend,
Yeah.
which you both mentioned before, the Sea Blockers, Imperial Iron Wall, probably against Cosmo or
Yeah.
Infernoid.
Infernoid is missing.
Yeah.
Like
Quote
just
from
last
Joshua
week.
Schmidt.
Yeah.
This point. Twin Twizzlers 3 times, then Artifact Durandal, which I love the idea, and 3 Maxis. And maybe for Durandal we have to go quickly through his extra deck to explain that. Castel, Direwolf, Trapeze Match, King of the Feralims, Ragnar Zero. Or is it? No. I can't quite.
No, he wasn't.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure it's a Ragnar Zero.
well, the one of the cards, a card is not.
With
Yes.
next
Between
to
yeah.
well, we continue Evil Storm Nightmare, then the Cyberdragon Infinity Engine, and then he's playing Consular Diamond and Stellar Knight Consular Diamond and Consular Pleiades. Or Pleiades. Then 1 Nodin, 2 Ignisters, and Natura Beast. So he's playing like the old school control with Pleiades and Natura Beast, which is mostly game in the mirror match, which was seen quite a lot before Bosch or the set Breaker of Shadows. Do you like that?
I'm not that fond of it, but yeah, it's sure an extra option since he's not playing Rafflesia.
Yeah, well, I think Naturabis is quite a good choice if you start, but I kind of dislike the level 1 tuner because it always needs a normal summon.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure about. I don't think I would play it anymore.
In this, in the new Pepe, normal summon is always the Joker. If you don't have Joker, you're not most likely going to do, and you're not going to need normal summon. You can always special summon, whatever you need.
Yeah.
But to going back to the Artifact Durandal, how I see it is that you basically can just summon a Durandal in the mirror match, or for example, and they won't go to search anything. As long as you have 1 card in hand, they have to be afraid that it's a Ron Lockbird.
Yeah, well, that's maybe kind of crucial, yeah.
And I think it's pretty cool to just play this mind game. I'm not sure if you really wanted to play it like this, but in my opinion, I would play it like that. And
Well, if you're not playing Draw and Lockbird, I don't think Durandal is worth it.
Yeah, well, it's just a mind game. The thing is, in some point of the game, your opponent has to do search, and if you don't have drawn Lockbird, you also lose. So
yeah,
yeah. So
But-
at some point in the duel, he has to do something. So
but also Durandal can basically take
Yeah.
like a battle phase away to get over it, as you can't use a monster effect to get over it, as you just can use the effect of Durandal and destroy one of your scales instead, or let him
Yeah.
destroy one of your scales. And that's also quite huge at the moment, to let your opponent use the battle phase to get over your monsters. Also, like Ventis Fiend, next to Forbidden Chalice, there are not that many outs, and most of them use the battle phase to get over it. Like some weird combos with Mirror Conductor or something like that. Or Joker searching Part Naga. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I think another interesting decision is that he didn't play any other Draco Slayer except Ignister, so the
That's
Light
true, yeah.
Synchro. Um, yeah, I don't see really the thoughts about behind that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Maybe,
the Nostra
yeah,
is good. It's really good. But obviously he had his reason. I think he couldn't find something he wanted to cut for the Nostra.
yeah. I think that was the case why he didn't play it. Those.
Okay, then we have a top 16 performer poll. Uh, why I'm mentioning performer poll and not performer poll is simply because he didn't play any performance monsters. Um,
Yeah.
Robin, would you
yeah,
post it again in the chat?
yeah, sure.
Because we don't have the.
Um, okay, you have to go to the link of Themis, the
It's in
first
the
one,
chat.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
and here we have the pure performer poll deck. Uh, with 3 Joker, 3 Monkey Boards, 3 Sorcerer, 1 Silver Claw, 2 Gear Turtles, 3 Lizard Draws, um, 3 Draco Slayers, or Luster
If,
Pendulum, 2
yeah, the
Lecter,
6 cards engine.
then 3 Second Donkey, like probably my favorite card of the whole Performer Poll, um, of all Performer Poll cards. So the main deck, next to the fact that he didn't play any performance cards, looks pretty standard. The side deck is pretty cool. Themis, could you explain us a little bit what Dragonbind does exactly?
Alright, so we mentioned Dragon's Bind at the previous podcast. So basically, you need to have a Dragon type monster on your field with 25 or less attack and defense.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, in his list, he uses the Dark Rebellion, which is in on his side.
Mm-hmm.
The other option is obviously if you play Mass Chameleon to go for Stardust Spark. And this card says that simply no player can summon any monster, can special summon any monster that has attack less or equal to Dragon's Bind. So in the mirror match, this card says GG, extend the hand if you don't have an out against it. It's a new form of Undeceptionist, basically.
Well, yeah.
And he's playing for that the Rebellion Dragon. And next to it, 2 Dark Hole and 1 Raigeki, so I'm also assuming for the mirror match to deal the Rafflesia Infinity board, which was pretty common. And 2 Psyblocker, 1 Tengaseka. For the extra deck, also nothing too special. Well, he's playing 2 Ptolemaeus.
Yep.
To have the option to go into Pleiades and Infinity in the same game.
Yeah. We can see this also at Barrett Keys decklist. I think it's something very good because you can if your Ptolemaeus gets Ghost Ogre, you have a second, and also you can do Ptolemaeus to overlay at the end phase, do the diamond, and then if he survives, you just do the infinity on your turn. Otherwise, you simply go for Pleiades. So either way, it's still good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Well, and maybe for those of you that doesn't know the exact effect of Performance Second Donkey, which is in the main deck, it's a level 4 monster, 1000 attack, 2000 defense, and if it gets normal special summoned, you can send 1 Performance Pal monster from your deck to the graveyard, but if you have two active pendulum scales, you can add it to the hand instead.
Huh.
So if you have a pendulum scale, it's basically another joker, which also activates its effect when it gets pendulum summoned. And that's pretty huge, as there are a lot of times where you just get like 3 searchers with 1 sorcerer and 1 second donkey. You have automatically 3 searchers, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's quite good, I think.
It already saw some plays right before Breaker of Shadows, but I think now it got even better. But if you're playing with the performance cards, you don't have any space for that, or it's quite difficult to find some space for that.
Yeah. Well, I think the deck has way less resources than the normal paper.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Like-
don't see really the reason why I should play this build instead of the performance engine.
Alright, I can see the advantages of this build is that you can play 6 cantrips, and also this build supports 3 instant fusion along with soul charge, so the main thing that it wants to do is simply put huge fields that your opponent can't play against, and that's the reason for the double play Miles. He also plays the Silver Claw, which with the addition of the Sorcerer, just adds too much damage on the board if you go into late game, and it also supports the 2 Guitar with 3 Lizard Draw that most of the builds just play 1 Guitar and 2 Lizard Draw, or 1 and 1. So it's just another way you can play the build. I'm not sure if this is better or for mages, but still this build is viable.
Yeah.
And then the last list of performance pulse we're going to look on is Barakis, a quite famous American player. Themis, you already mentioned his deck list before. What is special? Or in your opinion, special?
Basically, it's weird to me that he plays 43 cards, but still, 43 cards is still viable in because of the format. That the format wants you to play more cards to just combat the mirror match. I think basically it's all about his side deck and extra deck, in my opinion.
Okay.
Going into double Ptolemaios and going into Death Devastation, which is also huge.
We didn't see this card in the other decks
Decklists? Yeah.
so far. So Deck Devastation Virus, a great card to start, as it basically destroys most of the monsters. I think the only monsters surviving are the Jokers, Draco Slayers, or the whole Draco engine,
Yeah.
and the Trick Clone. But isn't it too risky to hit something like... I mean, you can hit the small monsters, but still the main problems are Joker, which can search everything together again, and also sending a damage juggler isn't too great.
Well, I think you have to think about that all monsters are going to the graveyard and not to the extra deck. So if your opponent loses about 2 cards, it's pretty hard to get into the game if you start with Paralimp and Infinity with Deck Devastation. So it's, yeah, I don't know if it's mostly better than Rafflesia and Infinity, but yeah, it takes your opponent his opportunity to play against your cards, at least.
Themis, you agree?
Yeah, basically I agree, and it's also that most of the times when you go first, you first go for a King of Air Limbs and then go for Rafflesia and Infinity, or you most of the times you have a King of Fire leads on the field along with another monsters just trying to cut your opponent. So by simply killing the king, and you hit like 2 or 3 cards in your opponent's hand, and the other monster can most of the times take care of the other cards.
Hmm.
So it supports better the plan of going first. But it's still good if even if you go second and you win against the board. Um, if they have built a huge board against you, uh, most of the times you're not going to have that good of a hand to, let's say, get through his field and still have a good field to counter your opponent on his turn. So the devastation simply does the job at this point.
Um, I think at least it's a decision because your opponent doesn't have yeah doesn't expect you to play Dectus Devastation Virus.
Hmm.
True, yeah.
With an open board with the Cyber Dragon Infinity and Proflesia, your opponent always knows how many cards you can negate or on which place you can react. If you start with the Feral Imp and the Infinity and the set Deck Devastation virus, your opponent doesn't expect you to kill his or almost kill his hand.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mhm.
So, and I think it's also a problem you can't play around it. The only way would be like Ghost Ogreing King of the Furlums, but nobody would do that.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. It would look a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And,
There's basically no reason to do that.
well, then we're going to the third place deck profile. He didn't play Performance, he played Cosmo. And he's playing not a normal Cosmo, he's playing it with the artifacts, which was quite popular at this tournament. So going through the deck, he played the normal Cosmo cards. In addition, he played 2 tin cans, and then 2 Cosmotros, 3 strikes, and then a 9-card artifact engine and a Twin Twister main. How do you like this deck, Sasha?
Well, I think it's kind kind of interesting build about Cosmo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a heavy trap build which is interested in going first, obviously. Um, yeah, it's heavily built against PAP and is hard, or it can go for OTK easily. I would say. So also Tin Can as well is a good opener. But I think it's hard if your opponent starts with Infinity and Reflexia or so on.
Mm-hmm.
So if your opponent build a board and can negate your first summons, or at least the effects of the monsters, it's pretty hard to get into the game. So I think that's also the reason why he played Ghost Ogre to counter Infinity.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, what I know from a lot of players which played Cosmo at this tournament, they all started. Do you think it's the right decision, Themis?
Going first?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really agree with this plan, but still, since you have the artifacts, they support very good going first, and you have Solo Strike as well. But still, I think the deck should go second because it's way too explosive right now, and it also matters for the mirror match. I think going second in the mirror match is better.
Yeah,
But still, yeah,
sure.
going first should make sense also.
I think they all expect like they going first because they're going to play against Pepe. Against Pepe, would you say it's correctly to go first?
No way. He should always go second against Pepe. You can so easily destroy their board.
Well, why? Can you tell me?
So Infinity is not that big of a problem since they always have like emergency teleport or something like to take care of him. If they have good witch still crazy out against Infinity. So well, basically they only care for Infinity. They don't care for Athlesia. They don't care for Nightmare. They simply don't care about any of these cards.
Well, if he has. Wait, Good Witch is the one who sets a monster, or the other one?
Yeah,
Exactly,
the
yeah.
one that he's
Yeah.
playing as one of. So basically he's supporting going first. I think.
Well, at least there's just one Good Witch in the deck, so you have to draw into it.
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
this is more going first. I think.
Yeah. I think with this build you have to go first, or you should go first if you can choose. Um, yeah, I think for the other reasons where, especially the Good Witch and the Ghost Ogre remained. But I, I think on a heavy trap build, I normally would go first against Pepe.
Especially like this one.
Yeah.
I also really like the artifact engine, as you're not that or your opponent is more afraid to use his twin twisters.
Yep.
As there could always be like an artifact moral talk or the artifact with 2200 attack, which prevents any extra deck summons for this turn, could be face down. So I like that actually, especially in this build with 8 traps in the main deck to go first.
Well, I think it's right what you're saying. Especially against this deck was Denko Seka pretty useful.
Mm-hmm.
Because your opponent cannot really destroy your set cards. Because there were actually he has to destroy them, but so cause of the Sun Strike. But there were so many cards which affect your turn that heavily. That's pretty difficult
Mm-hmm.
to do it in your turn. So if your opponent starts, you can't really destroy his cards with Twin Twister or so on.
And for the side deck,
Actually, something we didn't mention is that artifacts, since the release of Boss, have become way better than before. Because if you simply have an artifact and Sleep Rider, you can go for Nova and then Infinity. Which is
I
like
don't think you
crazy.
can go. You can't
Well,
go for
well,
Nova.
No, you can't go. Because Nova needs to
Machines.
machine type. Yeah, machine type monsters.
Oh, alright. So you can do for Sleep Rider.
Yeah, at least.
But you still can go into Pleiades, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
For the side deck, he's playing 3 anti-spell fragments, 1 ignition, 3 siege and dirge, 2 twin twisters, 2 cyberdragons, 2 cyberdragon cores, and 2 artifact land CS. So maybe the card which is the most interesting in here is siege and dirge. Do you like this, or if you're playing Pepe, how much of an impact is siege and dirge against you?
Big of an impact, actually.
Well, it depends on. Actually, it heavily depends on how your opponent sides against you. So obviously, the Pepe player wants to start, and if he sides Twin Twister, then it's not really that great. But if he's going for Denko
As he saw the artifact cards.
yeah, as you saw the artifact cards, it's pretty good because you can't do really. Yeah, you can't use exceeds, you can't use synchros, so you have to clear the board by your effect monsters, which is almost impossible against Cosmo.
Well, I found out randomly that you can still go into Ignister if you're having the Luster Pendulum, any level 4 guy, and the Lizard Draw.
Well, yeah. Okay.
That's true. But what I think mostly that's more the interesting part is that since they see the artifacts, and based on that, the previous deck lists with the artifact builds from the LG that Jeff Jones was using, he wasn't playing any fragments on the side deck. So for this event at Sydney, maybe since they saw the idea would be like if they see since they see the artifacts, maybe they don't side that many spell tracker removals. So now since he's playing six floodgates, and the opponent's not siding that many removals for it, uh, that's an extra plus for you. And I'm sure it's one of the reasons why he reached third place.
Is it possible that he sided out a part of his artifact engine for the floodgates?
I don't think so.
As I
Um,
think if you're having a look on his main deck, you can't really side out any Cosmo cards, as otherwise your engine could start to...
Breaking.
Yeah?
Um, at least I don't know really what he's gonna side out, but I think especially the traps or most of the traps were just sided if he goes going first.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I think he sided Cyber Dragon, which is actually a pretty good card if your opponent starts,
Mm-hmm.
because you can fusion some his Infinity Way and still have enormous sum, which is kind of crucial
Mm-hmm.
Still
if
not.
your opponent is playing Cosmo. So and the Cyber Dragons obviously were pretty good as well in the mirror match.
I also read from a lot of Cosmo players that they sided in Cyberrun against Pepe just to take away the Infinity. Like you said, Sasha, that's pretty huge, especially if they don't start with Rafflesia Infinity. Then it's
Yeah.
even better.
I
Like,
don't think it's that worth it, but okay, it's something acceptable, I guess.
I think it's also pretty cool if they don't start with Infinity. Cyberrun is a free level 5 machine monster,
Yeah.
which can also be used for your own Infinity
Okay.
with Slip Rider.
Yeah. And obviously for Pleiades as well.
For his extra, he didn't play anything special, I think. For the Synchros, maybe he played Black Rose Dragon, Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, and one Psy Lord Omega, or Psy Overlord Omega.
Well, I think maybe the red hot drag the Archfiend. I don't know exactly.
Scarlight, yeah.
Scarlight is maybe not the best decision because Damage Juggler is heavily played.
Mm-hmm.
So you can negate him because he's doing 500 damage per card he destroyed. I think the other, I think Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is the other one.
Yeah.
Is better because he's just destroying the cards.
Well, the question is if he played it because of Pepe or other matchups. I mean, maybe, or I'm not sure, in the mirror match to do the final damage
Yeah,
can be
well,
something, as it also triggers all ships, also your
Mm.
own, so I'm not sure about this one, but next to it, the big guy, don't see, or probably also to
at
take
least
a
it's
resist or something like that.
yeah.
Definitely 80s and the adrenaline.
At least it's something you should think about if you build your deck. Um, I don't know his exact reasons to play him. If it's for the final damage, obviously it's the better choice. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
can we continue with the member list?
Yeah, sure. We have two Mermail lists. Probably the only two guys that topped with Mermail, and we took both of them because they're so different. So starting off,
A small correction, it's not guys, it's a guy and a girl.
okay, I didn't knew that.
Oh, okay.
It's the list with the Gamasiel main is Jacinda Lockyer. I think I pronounced it right. So she's a woman.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to this list afterwards. So
Okay.
starting off with a list that we have to call it Atlantean, basically, because he's just playing 3 Megalos as mermaid monsters.
That's true, yeah, Atlantean.
Yeah.
No tails. All right, that's very interesting.
No, not yes.
So this list looks pretty much like the OCG lists, or more or less. They also played just with Megalo mainly as mermaid monster. He's playing crazy 9 hand traps in the main deck, 3 whale, 3 ghost ogre, and 3 maxis. 2 double summons, which are not common. 3 undyne and 1 controller. Well, if you looking at this list, it looks like you're going or the perfect world for him would be like going second, have 1 hand trap or at least 1 hand trap to interrupt Pepe, and then OTK is opened.
Well, at least I think the deck is not so. Also, obviously, it's for going second, but it's not that hard to if you go first, because the double summon, if you have Undone and the double summon, you can straightly go into Moon Glacier.
Really?
You should? Yeah, you can search into Deep Sea Diver and then go for the Moon Glacier combo.
Okay, with Thieves. Okay.
Okay, so double summon makes a huge sense in this build.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like if you play double summon, it's like playing more divas. I mean, if you calculate it, it's like playing more divas than one to draw them, more chances to draw divas with double summon. So you don't go Undine and double summon.
Yeah.
And the equip spell that he played, I think it's the wrong one on this picture. Is it possible?
In the picture is the trap, is the one
I
that
think
gets the trap, so I think
the
it's
the
wrong.
green one is the right one.
The one that negates spell cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
In the picture it's wrong for sure, yeah.
For the side deck, he played 3 Gamasiel, 3 Gords, 3 Forbidden Chalice, 3 Imperial Ironwall, and 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance. Yeah, bunch of 3-offs for the different matchups. Do you agree with his decisions? Or do you miss something like a Twin Twister?
Well, at least I don't miss the Twin Twister because of the marksman and the infantries and so
Yeah.
on. But I don't see the reason. I don't really see the reason about Gorse, because he's not playing any level 7 Exceed or. Well, it's just to some monster which is stopping you from being OTK'd.
I think what he could also simply play Battle Fader to not die the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but yeah, it's difficult because if your opponent has an Infinity on board, you always need 2 of them. I don't really know about.
But we can also see that he's also playing Chalice,
Yeah,
and so the card is popular.
yeah. Well, he's doing pretty. Actually, he has 6 hand traps to stop Infinity, so maybe that was the reason that Gorse is probably a good decision. Just if if your opponent misses miss the Infinity once attacked for game or almost game, you just have an 2/7 monster plus the damage you got on board. So it's maybe just for board control, I think.
Maybe. For the extra deck, it looks a little bit strange.
Yeah.
The fifth card, it's a Speedroid card.
Yeah. I
Um,
have no idea what this card does.
I'm going to search it quickly. As I think it's something with double attack. But let's see.
Well, Themis, do you know why he played Virgil?
Doesn't Virgil need BA monsters? I think he's not.
No, he don't need any BA monsters.
Ah,
Alright,
okay.
So just quickly for the synchro that we didn't know, High Speedroid Tranbera. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase at the start of the damage step. If this card battles, it gains 200 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Speedroid cards added to your hand. You can only use the you can only special summon High Speed Droid Tranbera once per turn. So basically, it's just to OTK,
Yeah, makes sense.
nothing else.
I think Virgil is there because maybe I think maybe he simply wants just to have a level 6 monster that can just do something more than Goyo, because Goyo is like useless.
Goyo is bigger
Yeah,
if he
but
just wants a level 6.
and if Virgil dies, he draws a card, but he could always do the old extra deck trick, just have it on top of his extra deck and reveal that to his opponent, so his opponent thinks that he's playing BA.
But if you think your opponent is playing BA, wouldn't you go into Dweller immediately?
Yeah,
So
if you're playing Dweller.
it wouldn't make any sense, but I think he explained it at some point on Facebook, that he's really playing it because of the card he can draw. If he, for example, establishes the field and it gets broken at some point, he's still got the draw of Virgil to have maybe another play afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, well, I think there could be a better decision.
I mean,
But-
like, Goyo really just does nothing. So having a monster that if he dies or draws you a card would make more sense.
Well, but
It depends. For example, if you're siding Gamma Seal, you can attack it and special summon a 3k defense monster. That's pretty cool. Just as a random option.
Alright?
But,
Okay.
well, I think we won't get to any conclusion concerning the Virgil.
Yeah.
And
But
so,
something extra, I just thought it seemed that Infinity, when he summoned, he has 2 materials under him, so he's 25, and you can set that Virgil into Infinity and draw a card.
well, at least I think even the Red Wyvern, if it's known,
Oh, yeah.
is a better card. So you can just destroy one monster with a higher attack. I don't know actually about Virgil, especially.
can you, if you go into Goya Guardian and attack Infinity, can you
No,
summon it to your field? No.
you shouldn't. I think.
Even if you can, he is still. Actually, can't you? I have to read the card. Okay,
I'm
just
just
we
going
could-
to check it. Once per turn, you can also XYC summon it over Noah, so you can summon it like this.
Actually, you should, yeah.
So you can take it and take one of the special monsters, attach it to Infinity, which would be an option.
Yeah.
But I think we should have a look on the last list that we have today,
Alright, yeah.
the other mermail. And
Oh fuck.
what was the name of her, Themis?
Jacinta Lockyear.
Okay, and as you can see, this one is a mermail deck, or a mermail Atlantean, as she's playing with 3 Megalo, 2 Teos, Teos, 1 Abyss
Spike.
Spike, 1 Gandhi, and also 8 hand traps, and 3 times Gamma Seal main.
Alright. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I really like Gamma Seal in the Mermail main, as it doesn't, or basically you don't have any disadvantage of it, as if you have a matchup where you can't use it properly, you still can discard it just as the water monster for your other cards.
Yeah, makes sense.
Your opinions?
Is Gamma Seal level 7?
Level 8, unfortunately.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would be too good.
Well, I don't really know about mining it, but at least there were about 10, no, 11 hand traps if you count them. This build is heavily for going second. It's
Yeah.
just built to not go first.
You don't have, or at least I don't see any real play if you're going first.
No.
Especially, you also can search Abyss Linde to set it face down. Like going with Theo's search Abyss Linde go is an okay play, in my opinion.
Well,
But
which
she's not
Abyss Linde?
playing it.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
just heavily going second.
I think this build is generally very interesting. But she's not playing any Zinix Undine. That's something that needs discussion, I think. I mean, Undine is like one of the best cards in the deck, along with Instant Fusion.
Well,
But she's not playing any of it.
the problem with Undyne is little bit the same like with Brilliant Fusion in the Pepe.
Yeah.
So it's pretty huge, without any question. But you're filling your deck with potential death draws.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
If
Well-
for, it's the same, basically the same as we discussed last week with Lorenzo's build, with this one Gem Knight Garnet on 3 Burning Fusion. It's the same with 3 Undyne and 1 controller. So if you draw the controller, you have 3 dead Undynes in the deck. And in a deck like Mermail, I'm not sure if you can really afford it at the moment, as you basically have to draw like every game pretty good to beat consistently Performer Pal.
I think that this build is the most ideal build if you're not going to abuse double summon, because obviously in the previous build, double summon was like one of the best keys having the deck all together with Undine. So in this build, since there is no Undine and you're focusing on going second, I think it's all well made around that scenario.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
She's also playing just 2 Marksman main and the third one on the side.
Yeah.
Do you
No big reason to play 3 marksman, I think.
No. Yeah.
Okay, then also the 3 Gords. And then we see 3 anti-spell, 3 Imperial Animal, 3 goes in match. So she's having a little bit more in the side deck if she has to go first against Performer Pulse.
Well, actually, I don't see a reason not going for going first against the first game.
Well, yeah, sure. She's going. If she can choose, she will go second for sure. But the second game, if she won the first game, she have to go first, or she has to go first, because the performance won't.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, game 1, if you lose it, you definitely see a lot of hand traps normally. Because otherwise I don't see a point how Performance can lose against Mermail. And if you see a lot of hand traps, you just let her go first to have this potential left draws and to have this one card advantage of going second.
Well, I think she changed the at least most of the hand traps against the Gores and the other traps.
But I think that's the main problem in my opinion. You can't even side out all the hand traps, as you have a huge 11 hand traps in the main deck. I'm also not too sure if that is really good.
Well, I think she keeps the Veilers and the Maxis. No, the Ghost Rogues and the Maxis in.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, in my opinion.
Okay, and for the extra deck, two Nodens, not Abyss Nodin, one Gaios, one red metal or red flare dragon. Don't know the exact name.
Red as flare metal, something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. One Silent Arc, one Castle, two Dweller. Why do you think two Dwellers?
Well, I actually, the only reason I see is the instant fusion to get an easier OTK.
I think what is a point for Dweller is that you can, if you have instant fusion, you can just detach it immediately. The material. The only other monster I think that would exist that can do it something similar would be the Bahamut Shark.
Yeah.
But Bahamut like can't attack and you want to attack, and so you need to go for the search and then attack. So Dweller would pump up all your monsters and give you the extra search. So double Dweller would make all the search this way.
Okay, so now little trick question. Do you know the next card on
No.
this picture? Okay.
I know that it's from Gold Series. I don't know anything
Exactly. I searched it out. Its name is Cat Shark. So it needs two level 2 monsters. While this card has an XYZ material attached that was originally water, it cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, then target one rank 4 or lower XYZ monster you control. Its attack and defense each becomes double its original attack and defense until the end of this turn.
Wow.
Really?
Well, the first part is already pretty cool, that it can't be destroyed by battle as long as you used at least one monster that was originally water. So, yeah, well, you have Deep Sea Diva, Infantry, and Maxis. And the other effect is also pretty huge.
Yeah, it's very good.
Assuming you can use it in a damage step, like pushing a Dweller to... how much would it be? Okay, Dweller 3,400. Or a Silent Arc to 4,200 is...
Why 3,000?
It makes the attack to the double of the original attack.
Original.
Still, is like something extra for OTK, one extra option. Hey, it's good. It's good.
I think a lot of Japanese players played it in their Atlantean builds. We had already this weekend at our locals a little bit of discussion why they're playing it, but it's actually pretty cool. I like it. And for the synchros, one Trishula, one Odai's Meteorobus Dragon, one Gungnir, one Chanbara, one Herald, and one Tatsuku, or I'm not exact.
Tatsuku.
Yeah.
The speed ride.
No, the level 3 water monster.
Yeah, okay.
I think nothing too spectacular.
No, I think it's pretty much level 7 synchros, so at least 2. But it's not that easily to get into.
Well, you have Ghost Ogre Instant Fusion.
Yeah, okay.
That's
I missed it. Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
well, so do you think anything else should be mentioned from this list or from all the lists or the tournament?
I think about the tournament, there is something which could be interesting
Oh yeah,
because
sure.
we haven't seen any lights warrants. I think or I haven't heard about any lights warrant in the whole tournament. Maybe one reason is that Minerva wasn't allowed till after YCS Sydney because it wasn't released in the country.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
something interesting. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I
That's
just
actually
read
pretty
it on
huge.
the Konami site a few days ago.
Makes a lot of sense.
But would you think that the Lightsworn deck could compete with Performance or Pepe?
I don't really know. Probably one of them could manage into the tops, but it's hard to say something about because at least almost no one has Minerva.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if the deck starts rolling, just you can play forever. But still, it's very weird. I mean, no one has Minerva, and if you have Minerva, you're really going to keep it for playing this deck. Yeah, there are such issues that will simply make you not play the deck. You can always play it on DN because it's free, but otherwise.
Mhm. And did you think I already mentioned at the beginning of this podcast that there were 26 or 27 performer pulls in the top 32. I think everybody expected that will take most of the spots, but so many.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. Didn't Necros have the same number back at Prague?
No,
No. Necros was a
it was
lot of. Yeah.
it was never over 24. I think, or
Um,
I'm even not sure if they were um, more than 20, because there was kind of a lot of Burning Abyss and Cliffords
Yeah.
back there.
And I think the sideboard cards were more affecting the Necros deck than the PA is affected by side deck.
that's true. Still, yeah. All right, I think that's all about the lists and the event.
Yes, so thank you very much, Sasha. Thank you very much, Themis,
No
for
problem.
today.
True.
For all of you out there, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, and Themis, do we have anything else?
Just final words about they. Make sure to check out the next articles that are going to be posted by Marcel Bouri. It's going to post the analysis of the whole tournament, and I think Lorenzo is doing about the first place list. So you make sure to check them out, and make sure to also hear the next podcast, which is probably going to be about the new Monarch cards.
Exactly. But I forgot Snapchat. Have a look on it. And that's it for today, guys. So bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.